What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, and we're going to be taking a look at trying to get super hyped for the Philadelphia Eagles' second preseason game, which will be against the Buffalo Bills. A week ago, this game was just, every other preseason game. Now, with the trade where we sent Jordan Matthews in a third-round pick to the Buffalo Bills for Ronald Darby, couple little storylines. I don't expect both of these guys to play, but that'll be a point when we jump to the top 10 things you need to watch. Seems like this video did pretty well. Week 1 against the Packers. Why not continue that success this year? Let's try to get some hype. So, when the news broke about the Matthews and Darby trade, I was kind of on vacation. I was in the woods, so I didn't really get to digest, if you will, the full spectrum of the trade. And if you're watching that video, you probably would come off like I'm a Jordan Matthews sympathizer. Like, I'm upset that we lost Jordan Matthews. And on one hand, I'm kind of the same as the players on the team. In regards to, he was a good guy, good teammate, definitely represented Philly, played with his heart on his sleeve. Even though it was inconsistent, he was the kind of guy that gave his all every single game for Philly, especially at the wide receiver spot where you see guys like Aguilar, you see guys like Dorial Green Beckham. They're just not pulling their weight. They look like you're here for the paycheck kind of thing. You see a guy like Jordan Matthews constantly, having fire. When he dropped a pass, you really fell for him. You're like, man, that guy, he fucking really wants to make up for that. Or you see a guy like Nelson Aguilar drops a pass, just droops his head and won't even try to run block or continue with the play kind of thing. So yeah, he definitely was a player's player and a fan favorite. He definitely was a fan favorite. But at the end of the day, he was a wide receiver too. That's his ceiling. I really want to see Jordan Matthews with Alshon Jeffrey, to see that combination, see if that would, the less number ones that were on Jordan Matthews maybe could really open things up. But the reality is we weren't going to re-sign him. I think, we definitely would offer him a contract at the end of this year, but I think he probably would hit the open market. And then it kind of comes back. If that happened, you kind of have pie in your face, because how much did this guy really like being in Philly? If that's, my opinion, my perception of him, then he takes the money and leaves. So with this way, we get a corner in Ronald Darby very, very quick. Really good coming out of Florida State. Had a tremendous rookie season with the Buffalo Bills. And I'm going to say the third-round pick, that's the thing that probably stings the most overall if you're just looking at this for a player per player and not trying to dump into the teammate side of things. But we need it, Darby, man. He's definitely coming in here, our corner one. And when you look at the things as a whole, when we go through this list, some of these things will become more clear, but I think the future prospect of having Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, Mac Hollins as our 3 wide receivers, and then having Ronald Darby, Sidney Jones, and Jalen Mills as our corner, versus having Jalen Mills, Patrick Robinson as our corners, and then Alshon, Torrey, and Jordan Matthews as our wide receivers. I kind of would take the first scenario there. I don't know about you guys, but I would. But without further ado, for those of you guys that move on to the list. The top 10 things for this upcoming week's game against the Buffalo Bills at number 10. It is Darby versus Jordan Matthews. It's only number 10 because I'm going to guess that both these guys aren't going to play in the game. I heard Jordan Matthews, I'm recording this on Sunday night, picked up a little bit of an injury, plus you have to learn the playbook, and I think the same will be with Ronald Darby. I know he's running with the ones, but my expectation is he will feature in the third game. They're going to take this week and all the training camp and practices next week to get him up to speed. So, when the starters, I'm going to guess in Game 3, the starters are going to play the entirety of the first half. That is where you're going to see Ronald Darby. But you never know. There may be a sneak peek of Darby versus Jordan Matthews. You can only dream that will be a matchup. Opening drive, you have Jordan Matthews lining up on the outside, because now with no Sammy Watkins, Jordan Matthews might have to elaborate for much more than just being a slot wide receiver, which he was here in Philadelphia. That would be awesome. But it's only at number 10 because I don't think that's going to happen. Number 9 was Carson Wentz. Stay hot. He was fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect. Offensive line was not, but on the first drive against the Green Bay Packers, Carson Wentz was perfect. 4-4, 50-some yards, and a nice touchdown. Beautiful touchdown to Mac Hollins. Can he stay perfect? I fully expect him only to play one drive this game. Once again, why change up that scheme? Which is going to make for a very boring game, which will be the next point that we talk about. But I'm just really interested about the starters and how well Carson Wentz continues to play. The way that he's able to slip out of a Clay Matthews sack when the pocket absolutely broke down and able to connect with an absolute dart to Mac Hollins for the touchdown. That is the exact kind of progression we want to see Carson Wentz make to becoming that franchise quarterback we all believe he can be. So hopefully we can see a little bit, maybe a couple more difficult throws, really test him. But I'll be perfectly fine if he goes, 3 of something, 4 of something, 5 of 8, and ends up with another touchdown drive. I'll be very happy with that. I'll be even content if he just leads a scoring drive for us to put points up on the board. Number 8 is Matt McGloin. Can he not throw 40 checkdowns? Come on, for the love of God, Doug Peterson. Make it so that it's watchable. The game against the Packers after the starters came out was unfucking watchable. Literally, I was only watching it to see what Derek Burnett was going to do on the defensive side of things in the cornerback battle. Offensively, it was fucking pitiful. It was check down after check down after check down after check down. Full Alex Smith mode. And Matt McGloin, he's not going to make this roster. I don't expect Nick Foles to play in this game. It is Sunday, and I haven't even heard him go back to the practice field. Hopefully, Foles does play. If Foles does play, this game can be a little bit more exciting. But Matt McGloin literally threw the ball downfield once to Bryce Treggs. Outside of that, there's literally nothing. It was horrific. Terribly boring, not representative of our offense normally. Obviously, yeah, that probably goes without saying, but in case there's no Philadelphia Eagle fans watching, they saw that like, oh my God, Doug Peterson is running exactly what Andy Reid runs in Kansas City. No, but Matt McGloin, for the love of God, just let him throw the ball downfield. If not, if you don't trust him, throw in Dane Evans. Neither one of those guys is going to make the fucking roster. Let's just air it out to see what we have at wide receiver. You're not going to find out what we have at the wide receiver spot by just throwing checkdowns the entire fucking game. Goal number 7 is the wide receiver 3 battle is going to be huge. So kind of piling on to no more Jordan Matthews, who really is going to take latch of that wide receiver 3 spot. Because I believe after ALSHON and Torrey Smith, that spot is going to be earned during this preseason. You know, we got Nelson Aguilar, you got Matt Collins, you got Bryce Treggs, who, you know, statistically speaking, had a great opener. I think it was 7 catches, almost 100 yards. After that, who else do you have at wide receiver for the Eagles? We signed like 2 new people this week. Dude from Tulsa and a dude from James Madison. Never really heard of them, to be honest with you. You got Greg Ward, the converted quarterback, really good quarterback while he was at Houston in college. So I think the wide receiver 3 spot, it's definitely going to come down to 2 guys, but the battle is going to be huge. That's definitely like the biggest thing in terms of the offensive side of the ball I think we should be looking for. Number 6, kind of spin off that, Nelson Aguilar, do something. Literally the only play Aguilar had, I think he had an end-around play, a trick play that he lost 1 yard. He like slipped on it, and then he dropped a 2-point conversion, which was I'll give it credit. Some people are absolutely shitting on him. It was a catchable pass. It was a tough pass. It was a very quick pass, but it looked like he wasn't ready, so that's on him. It wasn't like a guy was all over him and he wasn't able to bring it in. He just looked like he was shocked that the ball was coming to him, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared in time. So do something, Nelson Aguilar. Give me a 20-yard reception. Give me a touchdown. Give me anything. Number 5 is Matt Collins. Going into that, I believe this is the true battle, Aguilar versus Collins. And Matt Collins' stock is on absolute fire. He had one of the sickest stiff arms I've ever seen. Knocking, I think it was Rollins, Seth Rollins. The corner on Quentin Rollins, I believe. The corner on the Green Bay Packers, sorry. He sent him in the fucking next dimension. Matt Collins looks like a beast, man. Really impressed with him, considering that when they drafted him, I still have the video up here. I wasn't going to hide in shame. I was very surprised that we did draft Matt Collins with some of the wide receivers that were still on the board. I hope I eat my words. That guy looks legit as shit. The hype is real. He probably has the most hype out of any player right now, I would say, on the Philadelphia Eagles. So hopefully he can continue that against the Buffalo Bills. He's going to get plenty of reps, I would assume. Go number 4, it's going to be Robinson. Patrick Robinson, is he going to play as nickel? Now with the addition of Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills on the outside, it sounds like Robinson's going to be much more efficient as a nickel corner. Historically, I think Pro Football Focus, the year he played nickel is when he graded out pretty decent, not great, not bad, just in the middle, which is exactly all we need. We have Jalen Mills, who is a serviceable starter. You have Robinson, who's a serviceable starter, and then you get Ronald Darby, who has, legit upside to be a corner 1 in this league. That is way better prospects than what we had a week ago at the cornerback spot. So I am very interested to see Robinson here playing a little bit of nickel in this game against the Buffalo Bills, especially because there's decent quarterbacks that he's going to face. The Bills, you're going to have Peterman will come in eventually from Pitt, the rookie. He's really good, so you got to get some tests throughout the entirety of that game, but I hope Robinson is running nickel. Number 3 is the offensive line / run game. Was absolutely pathetic on the opening drive. Literally every run was stuffed for 2-yard loss. Looked like DeMarco Murray was back out there with the Chip Kelly offense. Offensive line did not play very well on the opening drive. I think we're missing Brooks was the only guy that didn't play. So our starters were out there, and I know the Packers were blitzing on every single play, which is tough. But I want to see something from the run game here. I want to see first downs. I want to see Blunt getting some steam. For the love of God, maybe you throw in Dylan Gordon at fullback. I want to see some running out of the eye with Garrett Blunt. He's a power runner. Stop having him line up next to the quarterback and have to gain 5 yards to get to the line of scrimmage. It's not the way he runs. Number 2 is Derek Burnett. Will he run with the ones? Getting 2 sacks in his debut performance. He looked good, man. He was bodying Jason Spriggs' tackle on the Green Bay Packers. He looked pretty damn good. I think I would give him the opportunity to run with the ones. Obviously, I wouldn't promote him. I wouldn't have that rash decision to put him over Vinny Curry or Chris Long or anything like that. I definitely think you want to not ease him in, but you don't want him to be rush so that, have a week or two if he starts, and then he gets blocked up by, fucking, who do we play? I don't even know who we play the first 2 weeks. You take a medium to slow burn with the kid, but I want to see him run with the ones, because maybe, just maybe, I could be wrong on this take, and he's good enough right now to be a day one starter opposed Brandon Graham. We're never going to know unless it happens, and why not use that in the preseason to see what we have with Derek Barnett? Can he get 2 sacks? Can he continue to get pressures? Can he muscle around starters on the offensive line? I mean, looking at the Bills' offensive line, if you line up against the right tackle, I know their left tackle, Corey Glenn's really good. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but I want to see Derek Barnett run with the ones and see really what this kid is made out of. And number 1 is the guy who I would say had a lot of hype, but definitely hurt his stock the most out of any player against the Green Bay Packers. That's Donnell Pumphrey, the running back. He needs to have a solid game. Looks like every time he touched the ball against the Green Bay Packers, he was fumbling. He was doing something wrong. He looked shaky on special teams. I want to see that kid have a big game. A lot of people are putting stock that once Darren Sproles calls it the end of a career at the end of this season, Pumphrey's going to take over for that. You got to take your lumps. We'll say that was first game jitters, but I really want to see a bounce back game from Donnell Pumphrey to see what we have, because I definitely don't just want to redshirt him here this year. I want that guy like that is a niche type of player, a gimmicky weapon. I want to use him. I don't want to have, bad preseason games where you have no confidence whatsoever that he can come in, get a couple snaps a game, give different looks, and not just be like, oh man, he's got to fumble it. Don't fumble the ball. That's kind of like the fear that we had with Ryan Matthews over the last couple years. Every time Ryan Matthews touched the ball in the fourth quarter, I had this gut feeling that he was going to fumble the ball. And I mean, looking back, just look at what happened against the Detroit Lions and one of the worst fucking decisions in roughing games I've ever seen against the Philadelphia Eagles. He fumbled the ball. So we will finish up with my pick for MVP, and why not? I'm going to go with it once again, Mac Hollins. I think the Mac Hollins hype train is real, and he's going to be my pick for the MVP against the Buffalo Bills. Let me know, guys, in the comment section below what you're most hoping for and looking forward to in the Philadelphia Eagles' second preseason game against the Buffalo Bills. If this is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid. Hit that subscribe button. Eagles videos all season long, baby. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.